Hey there everyone, this is Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your semi-weekly precious metals price analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum and palladium. Head over to youtube.com/bullionnow. Now over 11,600 subscribers, just onwards and upwards as always. Hit the big red subscribe button right here to join the family. You get a warm and fuzzy feeling as you join the winning team. Okay, this will be much quicker than last week because it had been a number of weeks since I had done a price analysis. Just going to touch upon what we talked about last week and then measure up to how it stands up to where the price is right now. Of course, we're using the tradingview.com website, and it is priced, in US dollars. For brevity's sake, again, I will only be looking at US dollars as always, because it depends what the US dollar is doing floating against the other currencies, particularly Australian dollars since we are in Australia, but just focusing on the US dollar. Last week, let's take a look at the weekly. We had printed this bottom here at 1670 roughly, and as I said last week, all these lines drawn in were previously drawn in from weeks ago, so it just happened to match up with this level right here. We're around about the exact same price last week. At last week's analysis, around about 1730. Since then, if we look on the daily time frame, we have seen a double bottom, at least on the weekly and daily time frame. That's looking somewhat positive for me at this stage. I had been talking about, and we're going to talk about a couple of things here with gold. I had been talking about this next level as, if we move further down from here, the next big level would be at 1555. But seeing as though we've seen this double bottom, not so sure we're getting there at this stage, particularly if we come up and print above this level here of 1760, and then if we stay above there for a week or two, I'm going to be incredibly confident to say that the bottom is 100% in. I'm like 80% there right now that the bottom is in for gold, and there's another reason for that I'll tell you in a second, but I'm with that double bottom, I'm looking much more confident that we are either going to be in a trading range for a good period of time, or we are in a cup and handle formation, which other people have been talking about. So this is nothing new to you guys who have been following technical analysis, price analyses with other people on YouTube, etc. But a cup and handle definition, what is it? Let's take a quick look. Let's at least take a look at the example chart. You come up to a high, you have a big long period of a downtrend followed by an uptrend. That's the cup right there, as you can see, and then it starts printing lower and lower, and then it's a fake out. There's the handle right there, and then it breaks out. Cup and handle formation. Let's take a look at that on the monthly time frame on gold, and you can certainly very easily see a cup forming right there. The other side of the cup, the right hand side, is a little bit higher because we did post a new all-time high recently back in August of last year, but that to me says cup, and is this the bottom of the handle? Good question. But this is obviously the top here, in August of 2011, the new top of August 2020. Clear cup there. Is this the handle right there, or are we going to wait and come all the way back down to 1555? I am more confident now, just with that little double bottom on the weekly and the daily, that I'm going to say 80% chance that this is the beginning of the bottom of the handle. Does that make sense? And then we just creep up and up and up, and then onto new all-time high territory coming. This is on the monthly time frame, of course, so you've got to bear that in mind. So that's going to take a number of months to play out. At least you're talking at least the end of this year, probably the start of next year, I would suggest, unless it goes hog wild in the next few months, but more likely towards the end of this year is when you'd start to see if this is the handle, I should say. That's when it'd start reaching back up to this previous all-time high of $2,070. The other thing that gives me pause to think that this might be the bottom, so when we do a quick bit of Fibonacci analysis, it's hit a key point. I'll show you right here. If I take this low, actually I'll take it from the high here and I'll go down to the low right there. I'll show you. So there's that high and down to that low. Let's do it. And there's the low right there. As you can see, it pretty much lines up exactly with that we're at that 1670 level. If you can see right here, I'll see if I can get in a little, zoom in a little bit more. It's pretty much printed it exactly at about 1680. You've got there the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level from this high based on this low down here. So that's a key Fibonacci level for me too. I'm going to say 80% sure. Now that doesn't mean I'm right, but 80% sure that we're now either going to be in a trading range, or we're going to be, I mean, a trading range, it could be quite a while, but I think we're in the upwards movement of the second half of the handle. Does that make sense? Now, what would negate that? Obviously, if we go back to the daily, let's see, on auto, obviously on the daily, and I just want to get rid of this because that's annoying me. Obviously, if we print lower and we have a third test of the 1670 level and we break down from there, look, if we're breaking down to, I would suggest if we're coming down to, if we break 1700, in my opinion, right here, and we stay under 1700 for a number of days, I'm going to suggest that that's going to be a third test. If that's a third test, probably going to break down further, and that's when I would suggest that 1550 is going to be the bottom of the handle. Does that make sense? But as of right now, 80% certain we're going to be going up from here. Now, don't take anything as I say as financial advice. That's just my feeling based on my experience. Your experience may be totally different and it might be incredibly better than mine. So again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. That's what I think about gold at the moment. It's looking a lot more positive now since we've had that little double bottom print right there. Let's take a look at silver. SILVER right here. So last week, what was I saying last week? Last week we were hovering around about the same price that we were now, around about your 24.85 level. If you go back and check the last week's video, and I can put a link to it below, you can see what I was talking about. Definitely talk about that 24.85 level where we were. I was suggesting that the level of 23.70 would need to be a level that we would not want to break down below in order for me to still be confident that we may trade in a range through time instead of breaking down further to this next level of 21.20. Well, what do we do in the last week? We had a perfect bounce, almost perfect bounce of the 23.70 level. I think it hit about 23.80, 23.70, something like that. So it has not broken down. So as of right now, silver is still in a trading range for me. And I would suggest that, where gold goes, silver tends to follow. So if I'm, bullish, if I'm 80% bullish in the, next coming months, I'm going to have to say I'm 80% bullish on silver in the next coming months based on this support level not having been broken down so far, as I try and get my words out right here. What do I need to see? I want to see, obviously, a clear move up, and I would say up and above. What am I looking at? I want to see a clear move up and above. I'm going to put another line in. Sorry, gang. Too many lines. But I'm going to put this one. I probably had this drawn in previously. I'm going to put it back in now. Right here at... Oh, that's your 26. Okay, right. So that's your $26 level. I want to see it move back up above and stay above the $26 level. That's a pretty easy one for everyone to imagine because the 26 level has been a huge level of support. And a big level of resistance previous as well. So I want to see it move above 26 and stay above 26, and then I'm saying, yeah, we're looking at bluer skies as the months roll ahead. So that's silver. Again, just really quick update from last week's. Let's take a look at XPT, that would be platinum. Where are we? XPT. No, that's not the one I want. I want XPT right there. XPT USD. Fantastic. So last week I was talking about the fact that we broke through this big long-term downtrend line going all the way back to 2008. We had a revisit of it. That's usually what tends to happen after you break a big long-term downtrend line. You have a breakout and then an actual proper revisit, and it revisited it perfectly. And then on the daily, we were sitting around about $1,175. I was suggesting that higher prices were coming from there. I was more confident than lower prices, and we have seen some slightly higher prices since then, topping out at around about 1,220 US dollars. And I had these couple of lines drawn in previously, and if we take a look at this on the 4-hour, what you're going to see is we broke above. There's that 1,220 and a pretty clear, I'd say pretty clear support level there at around about this line at around about your, was it about $1,200, $1,195, something like that. I am pretty confident at the moment. Again, I'll stick to last week's, more confident that we are going to be continuing up in the next weeks and coming months for platinum, for the reasons I spoke about last week, and also the reasons Michael has touched upon as well. There was a video we did on platinum right here. I'll put a link to that as well in one of their little thing that should come across your screen right now, and the link to this video where Michael talks about the fundamentals of platinum and why you may consider getting into platinum right now versus gold. I mean, gold's great, we love silver, but platinum's a pretty good play at the moment, so check out that video. Again, I'll put a link above right now. So that's my call. I am confident that we will be moving up in the next weeks and let's say next couple of months to start with, and we'll go from there. So that is platinum. And finally, palladium. This is cool. This absolutely hit the nail on the head with this call. And again, all this stuff, it's not pretty hard to figure out. It's just really lines of support and resistance. So you guys know all about this stuff. But we had been talking about last week in palladium, we'd seen the move up to the breakout from this trading range, which we'd been in for so long, and then we finally broke out to the high of what was that, 2,760. I was suggesting we were hovering around about your 2670 level, and I was suggesting that this level right here may be a level that we come back to revisit, and lo and behold, we have done that in the last week, and it was a very, very clear test right there. Again, this is pretty simple stuff. It's not stuff that's very, very hard to figure out. It's just previous levels of resistance and support, and once you break out of a level of resistance, it tends to become support. Not every single time, but it tends to happen. So I'm not some not some soothsayer, some grandiose Doctor Strange kind of wizard type thing. It's pretty simple stuff, but we did see a test of it. I am pretty confident that we are going to be posting new highs. As I said last week, last week I said in the next 8 weeks, we'd be posting a new all-time high, in my humble opinion, and I'm going to stick to that. In the next 8 weeks, I'm giving myself a little bit of room here. In the next 8 weeks, I think we're going to post a new all-time high in platinum in USD. That seems pretty obvious to me. It looks probably pretty obvious to you too. And I've been talking about the next blue sky thinking level, which was going to be around about your $4,000 to $4,300 level. Now, I'll add, if that is not a level of resistance, if that's not a major level of resistance on the, let's say, the weekly or the monthly time frame, then I'm going to add the big psychological value of 5,000. But I'm not quite sure of that. I'll just put it there. We'll just have it there as the next one. That's possible, but I'm going to say 4,000 to 4,300 to start with, because of this Fibonacci level calculated from this high and this low. That's it. Short and sharp. Just a quick update. I'll update you guys next week. Let's see what happens next week. Looking pretty positive. Looking more positive than last week, I should say. And that's all pretty much based around gold, although Palladium was its separate entity. I will leave it at that. Of course, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out that platinum video, and stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon. See ya.